Hello, this is Dr. Schmidt of Dr. Schmidt's Alien Universe. I've been inactive for several years, actually a long time. Today, it's 2016. Uh, the last time I blogged on YouTube was 2008, 2009, a long time ago. And I'm here to tell you the reason why I've been inactive. I'm a researcher, but I'm a private researcher of extraterrestrials and UFOs. I don't do a lot of work. I don't have any books out, although I'm going to be working on probably my first and last book will be coming up. The reason I've been inactive is because I had the men in black that came to visit me in the driveway of my home. The last time was about 2009, approximately. I didn't write down the date. I didn't have a journal to write down the exact date and time. But I had what looked like a black hardtop Lincoln Continental, about 1957. And there were two men in full black suits with black fedora hats. And they were in my driveway. And I came out of my house. I came out of the front of my house. They're in my front driveway. And I knew exactly who they were and what they wanted. So I told them, right away, what do you guys want? Leave me alone. I was getting defensive because I knew who they were. This is the second time. The first time was in 2005. I had a single men in black that approached my front door. And I moved from one housing unit, a smaller place, to a larger home, a tract home in a suburb of California Desert City. That's the home I'm in now. So what I'm saying is the men in black are very intimidating, and they're not going to come and visit somebody unless they probably had real information or they had real alien contacts. They wouldn't waste their time following somebody that didn't actually have a lot of first-hand knowledge. I have first-hand knowledge of the extraterrestrials. I've had several groups that came to see me, starting at age 4. I've had extraterrestrials that visited me at age 4. And actually my latest experiences were with the men in black. Now the thing is, they're the silencers. They're very intimidating. They're very intimidating. And so if they want you to be quiet, you should probably be quiet. And so I've been quiet. I haven't done anything. I tried to finish out a normal career. I'm basically retired now, but I finished a normal career and I didn't really talk that much. I was not on social media. I was not on YouTube. I was not a speaker. I didn't write any books. I didn't really do anything. Because the intimidation factor is very real. Now, if you go back to the history of the Men in Black, was it Albert Bender and Gray Barker? They had remember the story? They had the book. They knew too much about flying saucers. That's basically, if you go back and review that story, you'll see what I'm talking about. Nick Redfern, who I've talked to recently, who has like more than 30 books on this type of subject. He's researched this a lot. He has books on the men in black and the women in black. In some cases, they're real government agents, maybe NSA, CIA, whatever. In some other cases, they're not government agents, but they're actually aliens posing and doing the same job as a government agent. They're part of the silencing program. Now, whether or not they're subcontracted by the secret government, I don't know. It could be. It could be that the aliens are subcontracting, maybe not for money, maybe for other things. They're subcontracting with the secret government to keep the lid on the story um, because one of the problems is the cover-up program. Even though there's a big push for disclosure, because people are frustrated, they want the disclosure, but there's another side to this. The other side is psychological trauma that's caused not only by two individuals, but the psychological trauma that may be caused to the culture as a whole. Because dealing with this is really difficult, because these beings are hundreds of millions of years more advanced than humans. And the technology, the kind of technologies that are involved here are going against traditional teachings of physics and our understanding of time. Everything's different with these aliens, and it's difficult to deal with these concepts. Even for me, one of the reasons I study this is trying to understand for my own self purpose, so I can understand the phenomenon on some level. Because, a lot of people are severely traumatized by these events, by the extraterrestrial contacts. The beings I met when I was 4 years old are actually exactly the same as the beings in Pasaguela, Mississippi, Hickson and Parker, 1973. But you remember in that case, they were abducted. They were the fishermen on the shore of the bay or the river or whatever, and then aliens came down. The beings paralyzed them. They came down. They floated them up to the ship. They came back and they dropped them off. They were on the ground when they left. And so they woke up and then they looked around and they go, "Where are the beings? Where is the ship?" And they took off. They left. But now the reason this case is important, I met the same group in 1957 or 58. I say 59. It's somewhere in that area, between 57, 58, and 59. It was before I was going to start school. I was too young to go to school, so I was home with my mom. And the alien was at the opposite end of the hallway in my home. They came directly to me, and they talk in a mentally telepathic voice. "Do not be afraid, we will not harm you." And then they glide over the surface of the ground. Their two legs stay together like this, and they glide over the surface of the ground like an anti-gravity machine. So these are aliens. This is what they did in Mississippi. It's the same thing. They glide down from the ship. They hover about 2 feet above the air. They paralyze the abductees, and then they land on the ground. They abduct them. They float them up to the ship, and then they come back and drop them off. So after these beings, after they paralyzed me, they put me in a field. The field where time slowed down to zero. I don't know if it was a demonstration or what. Time slowed down to zero. And so I'll pick this up in just a minute.